we are back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not gonna happen this video, but that's all right, y'all. We're gonna live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my best friend, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her. She is always holding down my co-star spot and always will. So yes. And now we have to make an announcement, you guys. So Thanksgiving is next week. We will both be on vacation. I will be doing, I think I have Bell Collective next week, so I will be doing that solo. Mrs. Best will not be joining me on that video, but that's all right, y'all. She gonna come back in the next following week, and we gonna be back like we never left. But y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. I am gonna get better with the community board, you guys. I know I'm terrible, but I work a full-time job in the midst of writing 3 different books. Y'all gonna work with me, okay? I'm an author. This is what I do. So, yes. But going on, this is Married to Medicine, Season 10, Episode 2, recap and review, you guys. So, the show actually opens up with Quad driving over to Phaedra's house. Now, a little birdie told me that this is an out of order scene because Quad actually did not start filming until after Dr. G and Sweet Tea's wedding. So we just gonna pretend that this is before the fact of that. And I mean, she filmed scenes here and there, but like full-time cast member wise, she was not back full until after the wedding. That's what they all told me.
It's
So
true. It was all
we'll
over
see.
the
Mhm.
blogs.
So, but for shits and giggles, Quad and Phaedra, Quad goes over to Phaedra's house, and I love their dynamic. I did not know that this is what I needed, but they were giving me straight up Portia and Phaedra vibes, freaking frack. And I like this freaking frack just a little bit more than I liked it the Portia and Phaedra freaking frack. What do you think, Mrs. Best?
I feel the same. I didn't care for the Portia and Phaedra freaking frack. It threw me off. I was like, what is this and where did it come from? But this, I actually haven't been bothered at all though by Phaedra on this cast. At first I was like, Phaedra blends in with this cast obviously because of intelligence and education accolades. However, she was a housewife and of Atlanta during a time when we had good housewives. So I felt like maybe she might like sting or read them a little bit too much, but it works. It works so far. I think as a whole with her on this show, it works.
I agree. It does work, and I'm actually really enjoying Phaedra on this show. And I'm hoping that I'm going to continue to enjoy it. I wish that she did keep the aesthetic of having somebody,
Mhm.
but hey, for the premise, it works out just fine. So Quad catches her up. She's been on vacation a lot. She goes on vacation with Yandy from Love and Hip Hop New York a lot, Portia. They all go on the same vacations, and Quad has, a little man friend who is highly attractive. I will say that. I go ahead, Quad. We ain't
Mhm.
we ain't mad at you, Quad. We not mad at you over here. So, and Phaedra points that out. And then the production crew, while I was doing Quad's confessional, said, "Well, what's his name?" She said, "Gentleman." I said, "I know that's right, Quad. Don't give him an ounce because they're gonna Google the fuck out of him. So
I,
don't give
I
him
like that.
nothing."
Some people be like, Quad, she doesn't give much. And I do think that Quad, while I like her individually, I don't think she should still be on the show because she's not married to medicine and she doesn't like to answer a lot of questions about her dating. But I get where she's coming from not answering those questions because if I was dating and in the public eye or something, I wouldn't present nobody until we're like engaged and together for some time. So maybe that's why she's doing it. But then at the same time, honey, you are not married to medicine at all. You've still been coming on these couples trips. You've become kind of like almost diva like and difficult to deal with, in my opinion. That's how Quad has become for the cast, and that's why they don't really. You could tell there's not that closeness that was there the couple seasons ago. I feel like if you're not going to be married to medicine and you're going to have those attitudes, Quad, then you need to date on this show. Do something. Because right now you just irritating a lot of people and sweet tea. And I don't see why she's staying and is so attached to this show. it's like,
Understand why she's saying it's attached to the show. This is marketing and check on you. Get with the program. I wouldn't care. And see, this is where she and I differ. Because I actually like Quad on the show. And I like
mhm,
Quad in general.
mhm.
But I like her on the show because she ruffles a lot of feathers that I feel like is needed for the drama.
It
That's
is.
why.
Mhm.
So on the premise of that, speaking of Sweet Tea, Phaedra asked her, "Well, how are you with the ladies? Because they all said that they have not heard from you." And I love Phaedra because this is straight up attorney. Phaedra don't know how to cut that attorney shit off. She just doesn't. Like she is so legal trained, it's pathetic. But she had said, "Well, I haven't talked to anybody." And then Heavenly sent me this text message, and she said text message of her and Sweet Tea together and saying my new best friend. And I felt a certain way about that. And I think Heavenly was trash for that. Because for me, I because that's like if I got married and divorced,
Mhm.
and then my husband still stayed in the circle of the friend group, he brings his new person on, and you, my best friend, one of my best friends, decides to go and take a selfie and hang out with her and then send it to me. I would feel slighted. I would feel like, well, damn, what the hell did I do for me to deserve that? And Heavenly was stirring the pot. That's what she likes to do.
That's what Heavenly does. I feel like the people who become Heavenly's friend on this show, I'm sick of all of y'all because Heavenly is Heavenly. Heavenly has been the same damn Heavenly kind since season one, since before season one. Heavenly is Heavenly. Even when she started this show, people like to get her weight, her obsession with her marriage, say she's messy, but you know that's what you're getting with her. And most people coming onto this show know what they're getting with Heavenly. She's become a name even outside of Married to Medicine. So it's one of them things where I'm like, people can't keep complaining and being upset when Heavenly behaves the way Heavenly is. If I had a friend like Heavenly, I would expect that bitch to be trying to air out certain stuff. And everybody knows you got people in your life for seasons and reasons. And James is a close friend. I will tell James the weirdest of things, like, oh my God, I can't poop today. But that's not what I may tell Leona or Erica or, these are just some of my partners. Hey, y'all, shout out to y'all. But what I'm trying to say is you have different reasons for people being in your life. You have different relationships, trajectories, those things. So it's like if you got Heavenly as a friend, that's your friend who you probably going to have fun with, key with. But anything you say, know that it may be repeated and be careful with how you handle things. But it don't mean she won't have you back and ain't your friend. She just big mouthed and messy.
She likes to start. She different. Like to stir the pot. She just does.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's just what it is.
and she
But
owns
I
it.
still would feel slighted because I felt like it's one thing to stir the pot, but it's another to cross a line. And I feel like that is crossing the line just a little bit,
Yes.
especially if we don't know that she's on the premise of being on the show. Because mind you, this is real time for them. This ain't 4 months later. Oh, the girl on the show. That's why she did that.
I'm
Quad didn't know
pretty
that at that
sure
time.
though that Quad knew that Dr. G would be coming back. I don't think that maybe production didn't tell her, but I feel like she probably heard around. Again, we keep saying he is still in the same friend group. So I'm sure he was talking to one of the men and they're all married. So somebody pillow talked to somebody and told Quad, I'm pretty sure she knew that this girl is going to be on the show. And even if she didn't, Sweet Tea and Greg knew they were coming onto the show. So for me, while it's easy to look at Quad that way, and though I sometimes feel like she don't need to be on the show, I do like Quad. But I'm looking at Dr. G and Sweet Tea kind of like with the sad eye. Like, is this gold digger running you broke, Dr. G? Because you was just fine off of our TV screens. Why would you choose to come back onto a show that your ex-wife is still very much a part of?
And I love how she transitioned into the next scene
Did
because yes,
I?
she did. So basically, Phaedra is going to be Quad's reintroduction to the group,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. So now we're going over to Quad's old house featuring Dr. G and Sweet Tea. And she is making chicken adobo. And I said, Sweet Tea, how fucking dare you? How dare you? Because when I tell y'all, I'm from the Bay Area. My mom has always had a Filipino friend. No matter at what job she was at, we had
Yep.
Filipino friends. And when I tell you, I miss chicken adobo so much.
I just
That
had
actually almost. See, why you do that to me? See, this why. Yes, I love and hate her all at the same time right now because I
They
haven't
don't
had
have
chicken
that in
adobo.
Florida? It's so
No,
diverse. Really?
I have not made that kind of friend yet. See, in Phoenix, I had them kind of friends. Florida, I have not made that kind of
You
friend,
get
but I'm
some
just saying.
pancit, some
Oh
chicken
my God, shut up.
adobo with some lumpia.
Oh my God.
Listen, the Bay Area, fun fact, has one of the largest Filipino and Asian populations in the whole country. I didn't know that till recently because when you grow up here, you're just so used to seeing, honestly,
Hmm.
Black
Yeah.
people, Asians, and Hispanics. That's that's what we used to. So I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was normal. But I try to tell you, go eat Filipino food. And they're some of the nicest
You know what?
people.
I'm gonna make me some this weekend. I'm gonna do because
Ooh,
when I tell you, and sweet teas actually looked legit. Like I
it
actually will
did.
give it
It
to
looked
her.
the way it's
It looked
supposed to look.
yes, and then for those of y'all who don't know what chicken adobo is, Google it.
It's
Hers
supposed
looked
to look like that.
exactly, and it's like the ones we have in California. Like
Hmm.
anybody who's Filipino, mama that you went to, that's what the chicken adobo looked like, exactly like that.
Absolutely.
So I was here for her. This made me like her just a little bit
I
more.
like, listen, the food for me, Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea's relation. I'm sorry, this is going to sound mean, but I feel like Dr. Greg accepted that woman because of the DM with the baby and stuff, but it also had to do with some other stuff. He obviously is accustomed to women who, you know, cook. That and maybe Sweet Tea said, "Listen, I'm a Texas girl. I'm a Southern girl. Most women in the South can cook." She said, "Well, I know that the ex cook because I watched her do that on TV. So maybe if I go in there cooking foods, he'll."
And see, and this is where we
I
got
don't
to
trust
get
her.
this. No, here's the thing. I don't know. I don't trust either one of them, but this is where we got to get in their ass because she started talking about how stressed she is, him not being there, her planning this wedding, and here he come with the old Dr. G antics. I'm paying for the shit, and how much am I paying? What percentage am I paying? And see, y'all go back to Married to Medicine season 4 and, and see that Quad and him had this exact same conversation in that very kitchen. And he's talking about, I am paying and taking care of you, Quad. What else the hell am I supposed to do?
The
Is
seats
it?
were even the same. Like he
Yes,
always sat in a specific seat, and Quad always sat in a specific.
exactly. And this is what we want people to realize. And because a lot of people are like, well, Quad never loved him. I think Quad tried. But it's conversations like that where a man tells you, I'm paying for you, I'm taking care of you, I'm doing all these X, Y, and Z. That will make me stop loving somebody. Because then it makes me wonder, well, are you with me because you love me, or are you with me because you want to control me?
Mm,
Because that's what that's giving. That is giving manipulation and control and using money as a tactic. But to his defense, she came in with that shit. So be careful what you ask for. And if you're not specific of what you ask for, this is how it turns up. This is what women get when they're not specific when they get men with money. So I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is what happens when you're not specific. If you want a man with money, he needs to be a man with money that is nice, caring, compassionate, affectionate, understanding, and also has a level mindset. Y'all have to start saying these things out loud because y'all, when you ask for a man with money, you'll get him, and then he does this. So I'm just putting that out there. So she is just stressed out, and to me, I would have told him, well, instead of you paying 90%, why don't you pay the full 100%? Let me get a wedding planner. We can do this. Because I would have told him that personally. But that's me. I'm different from Sweet Tea. So, we don't
I
go forward from
don't.
there.
I personally, sorry, y'all. My husband's moving around because he got to go to work. I don't understand. So T, she, who said that? I think it was Dr. Jackie. Somebody said it. He's covering the wedding. What else? Listen, I did not have a wedding because I decided to elope and waste $700 of my dad's money at the last minute. But I did start the planning process, and my dad, because he's super traditional, and the bride's family is usually supposed to foot the bill in American culture. So he was trying to do that, but I just Josiah didn't really have much to do with it. He just kind of like agreed to stuff. He just wanted to get married. So I don't know. Your man's paying for everything, girl.
That's what I'm saying. Like I probably would.
Shut up.
Like I would like that price would every time he would start arguing with me about this wedding, that price would go up extra 5. We need an extra 5,000 for this. This catering need an extra 2,000 for some shrimp.
And
When I
that's why
tell
people
you,
looking at Sweet Tea with the side eye, because I'm gonna ask you this, boo, because we are literally the exact same age. And
mhm,
I'm looking at you, Sweet Tea, like, come on, sis, you know how the men of our generation is. That's why you dating your grandpa. You need to like be realistic, Sweet Tea, because you could be dating a man that's not broke with a degree, stable and stuff, has his own home and stuff, especially being from Texas. But you could date somebody just like that and not be able to do as much as you're doing with this wedding. So it's like, be grateful. There's men who make great money.
I'm not saying to be grateful because I don't think that's the right term. I would say pay attention.
Mm,
Pay attention because this is going to come up again.
child.
When he's throwing money as leverage, that's going to come up again. But he's sweets talker, and they start laughing and talking, and then yeah, that was it. It was much of nothing, but I want people to pay attention to this because this man is doing the exact same behavior he did with Quad, and y'all thought Quad was the problem.
Yep.
I just want y'all to pay attention to that because I didn't think she was the problem at all. I knew exactly what I was looking at. And for people to
Yep.
understand, he's a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are known to play mind games in their personal life.
And
They
just
just are.
because there's a code of ethics does not mean that they all are following that code of ethics. Dr. G seems
Exactly.
like the type of psychiatrist that'll play mind games too. And I have a strong problem with that, a concern. How could people feel safe to come to us who are part of the mental health community when we are doing the things that cause trauma? I understand that, Dr. G is human and people make mistakes, but go back and watch that reunion from the last time we saw him before their divorce was final and the stuff that came out.
I'm surprised he was able to keep his license up to some of that stuff that she said that he did.
Well, someone has to report you. It's so stupid,
Oh, okay.
because there's a lot of psychologists and social workers out here who are got child abuse cases against themselves or got restraining orders against them. I don't think those people should be allowed to practice medicine or mental health care. But that's a
Hmm.
bigger conversation. Ain't nothing we could do about that.
Right. So moving on, Dr. Jackie is talking to her newest addition to her practice is another doctor she decided to house, which I want her to house 2 more because she has the money and the wherewithal and the access to do so. But that's all right, Jackie. But Jackie is taking a step back. She is seeing less patients, and then also in terms of that, she is home at like 2 o'clock to through 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon time, which is rare for Jackie. Even the scene when they saw Curtis, he goes, "Who was this coming in the house?" Because she is, scaling back. But before she scales back, she goes and sees the brat because this is before the brat gave birth to the baby. It was a baby boy,
Mhm.
and it was a fun scene. I remember she said, "Oh, look, we're gonna talk to you about the twins." And Brad said, "What?" And was had me cracking up, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, Dr. Jackie, that was a great scene. I love the scene."
Playing.
Yeah, I love the scene with Dr. Brad and Jackie, Dr. Jackie and Brad. It was fun. But moving on from there, we have the scene with Toya, Eugene, and the boys. We got to talk to them about the birds and the bees, and they bought them books and everything.
Go ahead, James.
No, because here's the thing. It's an important conversation, and I feel like I appreciate Bravo for doing this because a lot of young boys don't have men to tell them this. And a lot of men who have boys and try to talk about the birds and bees do not do it correctly. Dr. Eugene did it correctly. He gave them all of the emphasis of what's to come. I wish he would have focused on their urges a little bit more because and he probably did. I'm not saying he didn't because we only saw a snippet. But a lot of y'all men do not talk about it being okay if a man has an urge in their notability because sometimes men, if they don't deal with the urge,
Mm.
they lose it and then terms, get in an awkward moment. So you need to talk to them about their urges, their body, make sure they understand erections, make sure they understand physical qualities of it and everything of that. Talk to them about prostate, especially because Eugene was big on that. You know what I'm saying? He
Mm,
masturbates a lot. That's what he used to say. And
Jesus.
masturbation is a preventative method for prostate cancer. African American men, if you are not ejaculating, I hate to have to say this, but this is my channel, and I'm going to say because I am a man. If you do not ejaculate regularly, you can also put yourself at risk. Doing that regularly helps prevent that risk of prostate cancer, which is highly a cancer in African Americans. I don't know why we get this one, but yes, because you would think we wouldn't, but it is still we're probably the leading ethnicity that has prostate cancer, I
That is
believe.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. So this is an important. I wish you would have brought that up again in the premise of it saying that it is okay to masturbate if you're not having regular protective sex. I wish you would have said that, but they probably still go with that stigma that masturbation is wrong and all this rigmarole. I cannot stand when people say that. It is
I
so
felt
stupid.
like this didn't need to happen on camera. I understand some people are like, oh, we have kids and all of those things, but I was kind of like, when young boys get to like, I say even second grade, sometimes they start getting to certain places and wanting things. But why do we need to have this conversation on TV? Why did Toya have to use the words, they're horny? I just didn't like it. I felt like Eugene's a doctor. It's good that y'all had a talk and all of that, but I don't need to see that on camera. Like some things for some of these kids need to stay fucking private. Now, when this boy is 27, he can go on YouTube and I can show you when I got the talk, and it's there for everybody to see. And I just don't like that. But I'm a big person on privacy when it comes to like kids and raising them, things like that. I know it's their right to choose, but I felt like Toya just wanted to do that or something for the same. Because no shade, I don't care about Toya and her badass kids. I don't care. I don't. I don't.
All right. So moving on, y'all. We get Sweet Tea. She has one of her girlfriends, and Phaedra and Toya come with her to the bridal shop to pick out a wedding dress. Why you would choose Phaedra of all people, I have no idea. But okay. Because Phaedra immediately walked up in there and said, "Oh, girl, you ain't got no booty." And it's like, Phaedra, what is with you and everybody booty? But hey, Phaedra said, "You want buttermilk biscuit, not pancake." And I was like, Phaedra,
Stop it, Phaedra.
damn it. Right. Okay. Like, what the hell? I don't know whose YouTube channel I was watching. They said, Phaedra, need to shut up because of the top of her mouth looked like she got peanut butter stuck up in it. And I said, y'all,
Damn.
I, I'm I'm gonna stop messing with y'all on YouTube. Some of y'all content creators who review this show like I do, I'm gonna stop messing with some of y'all. Y'all be killing me. So she goes to try on another dress, and Toya and Phaedra begin talking to her little friend. And Toya asked, "How did you guys meet?" And she said, "Well, we met at a support group for ladies who date older men." And they all paused, like, "Huh?" And I did too,
Yeah,
because
for
I
real.
need to know in this world
In
why
this
the
world.
hell why the hell do we have a support group for women who date older men? What the heck
Right.
is that about? Can someone send me a pamphlet or something so I can read why we have this support group? And Phaedra brings up, oh, a sugar for sugar babies, right? Sugar baby, and that's what T poke her head. No, ain't no sugar babies. It's not like that.
Why do you need, listen, this is how you know you're not with somebody that maybe you should be with. If you need a support group
Right.
to be with your person, then you might need to like get to like a therapist
Right.
or something and figure that out. That's a little strange to me. If it were like a support group for wives of husbands that work night shift, I could understand that. I have a husband who's worked night shifts for over 10 years, and it can get lonely sometimes, especially in the evening. That makes sense because it's like, okay, people to talk to who are up at the same hours of you, or support groups for people who are kind of like basketball wives, which we'll be recapping. Shit like that. You know, the wives of athletes or musicians. God, the wives of rappers. But no, on a serious note, those make sense. But a support group for you dating older men who are likely taking care of you with their benefits, retirement, 401k, IRA, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Why? why do you need a support group? And then I'm looking at her kind of side eye because while Dr. G is not my cup of tea, and that's crazy because my reason for not liking he just seems so old that I can never look at him as being attractive or not. I look at him and think of my dad. Shout out Xavier Charles, love you, dude. But I just I'm like, you have an older man that's not even like nauseating to be with, if that makes sense. Like Dr. G is not, like Erica Jane on Housewives of Beverly Hills, and you just kind of like, why are you with them? He's not like that. Like Dr. G can still go on vacation with her. He could still break her back out. He could still do things with her that a lot of women with older men cannot do. So I'm like, why does Sweet Tea specifically need this group? It's fucking weird. They're in there sharing ideas on how to get them to up their credit card limits or something. Because I don't understand what they could be doing in that group.
I'm just as puzzled because when she said that, I was like,
what?
What? Why is that a thing? Why do y'all have this? So, I guess if that's what we have in this world, there's something for everybody, I guess. So, moving on from there, Toya is sticking with Eugene because she is launching her wine and she wants to get the other ladies together.
No, she is not launching her wine. She is sharing the information about her wine club, which is where you get a coupon code and discounts on wine and accesses to certain flavors of a company. Kris Jenner has one with, I believe, the same company and a few others. I just wanted to. Okay, I'll shut up.
She wanted to correct that. She's so mad because I said
not. She doesn't have a wine. She doesn't have a wine. She helps choose flavors and things, and then the company is using her name to get sales, and she's using theirs to give out discounts and to make a commission.
So she is a image consultant for a wine company. I forgot what the name of it is.
I wouldn't even say that because all the bitches do wines. I'm not trying to be mean, bro. I'm just saying, like, she's just picking wines. Anybody can do that. Image consultant.
Yeah, whatever. Toya's invited these ladies to an event because we gotta keep this going. She playing with me right now. Toya is inviting these ladies to an event and she's talking it over with Eugene. And she's kind of nervous because this is kind of her first leap of faith of this show, which it is.
Shame. 10 seasons later.
I mean, better late than never. And he says everything's gonna be fine, and just don't drink before the event. And he said just be prepared, for that one person who we all know who he was talking about, Heavenly, to start some mess. But she also brings up, some of the, things that she has gotten as far as the other women degrading her. Like they showed a flashback of Dr. Jackie. That time they were at Contessa's house and she didn't want to give up her phone. And Dr. Jackie said, see, I think Toya knows what it's like to be a doctor. MRSMD, sit down because you're speaking to the real MD. I love when she said that, by the way, because I love me some Dr. Jackie. I just do. But in terms, she is right. They do demean her a lot, especially Heavenly. Talking about all she do is sit at home, watch TV, and she don't do nothing.
I don't think so. Heavenly talks about everybody on that live equally. She will talk shit about everybody equally. I think the only person she goes a little bit easier on is Dr. Jackie. But even when Curtis did what he did, Heavenly was like,
she don't go easy on Jackie at all.
She talk about everybody equally. So
she does.
I wouldn't quite say that it's demeaning. Heavenly comments on the shit that they do and the way that they act on the show. And Toya, lover or hater, she brought the ratchet to this show, having fights in earlier seasons. She's always beefing and looking forward to airing other people's shit out while she's literally running her husband, who was an emergency room doctor. Go look up how much they make, y'all. Go look up how much they make in all 50 states. How is your husband an emergency room doctor? It seemed like he just can't say no to you because he got ugly duckling syndrome himself. And it to me, I just don't respect that. Like right now, I'm a woman that is not employed with a company. Most of the money I make has to do with what I do online, and it is not enough to live on. My husband cares for me and, pretty much handles the bills and is the one who works full time. So I'm not married to medicine, but I could be considered a housewife who's actually married. And what I will say is I don't like that. When you do sit at home with your man, and Toya got a degree, I got a degree, that's fine. You have the ability to work. You have gone through tax issues with Eugene. Toya has gone through so much. They have moved every season. These people are always doing stuff, and it seems like they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and not because of him. He don't really seem to care because of her. So I just like part of being a good wife is sometimes when you want to buy something expensive and you know your man to say yes, still decline it because you're building a life together and it's gonna better you. Toya don't do that. She don't do that at all. So I just have trouble when she's like, "Oh, the ladies have laughed at me and made comments." They've made comments just like you've thrown shade at these women for shit way deeper than your ass not working and putting your family in the debt. You done made comments and laughed at people's marriages, friendships, Toya. Done caused people to fight, caused so much trouble. And sometimes you can sense that, like, she's obviously the one that's not a doctor because doctors can't just conduct themselves any old kind of way based on her actions. So I just look at Toya sometimes like you can't get mad at these women because they laugh at the fact that you haven't worked while somehow accruing debt and doing all of this on TV while moving literally every 64 days. Like, you can't be mad at them for little shit. Like, it is what it is. And
Yeah.
when you present us with something, go get you a wine. All these companies use the same distilleries and grapes and all of that. They just put different labels on shit. Go make your own wine. You like if you are gonna put effort into something, but I have a feeling that her and Eugene may be getting ready to move again in about 2.3 years or something. And so this is an income. And ain't nothing wrong
Oh,
with it. Toya get on my nerves.
anyways, y'all, she done went off on her soapbox. Let's go ahead and move on. So Toya has to see that all the ladies show up, and she's about to give her presentation. Y'all know Heavenly always got to start some shit. So she says, Letitia, I heard you was in the support for dating older men. You was in the counseling for dating older men. And Sweet Tea said, I'm not in no damn counseling for dating no older men. She go, oh well, that's what I heard. Heavenly, that laugh. I just
Her laugh.
I can't stand Heavenly that laugh. But and she goes, no, I'm not a support group. And so she takes this moment to say, what I did not like what all you ladies did was in my house, Quad's house, by the way. In my house, y'all brought up Quad's name. It was all of you guys really who did it. And some of the women do apologize. I think Heavenly did apologize too for bringing up Quad's name. And Dr. Jackie also apologized as well because what she has to understand is these are Quad's friends who have known her a very long time. So you coming in new to the group, you're going to hear her name. And for me, I wouldn't have been bothered by that. I wouldn't have been bothered. I'd be like, oh, what's her favorite color?
I wasn't bothered by the fact that, listen, go look at your man's divorce decree. I'm pretty sure something happened with the house so that Quad had to, sign. Listen, you lucky Quad didn't fight for the house, Heifer. Shut up. You're on a show. You cannot complain about Quad's name coming up on the show at all. This is Quad.
Okay, and that's what bothered. That's why I was like, I wouldn't have apologized to her.
You will always
we
be
was in a house that lady, like, you're living in the house that she used to live in.
You not mad when you're in the same bed he used to fuck her in, but you mad.
No, Quad took that bed.
No, Quad took the bed. Either way, the room, the aroma of their juices are in the air. Okay? I don't care. You sleeping.
Right.
You don't know if they're anything like me or my husband. They could have been fucking on that couch. They could have been fucking in the bathroom, in the garage.
There's no way. I told one of my coworkers, there's no way in hell I could live in that house at the quad and lived in that house.
I'd
We
rather
would have
live
to
in a
get us another
studio.
house. And Dr. Heavenly already put it out on her channel that he got that house on a short sale for $350,000. So I'm sure that house is paid off by now. He can go get him
Absolutely.
another house. He can
Hmm.
go get him another house. Y'all ain't got to live there. And see that, and that's always gonna bother me. I don't know why that bothers me, but that's always gonna bother me. Every time I look at this episode and I see a scene with him and her in that house, I think of Quad automatically because I remember Quad cooking in that kitchen. I remember all that shit.
I don't think Dr. G want to move though.
Well, that's not all. That's not. Look, you chose me. We got to go. But anyways, y'all, we sidetracking. So this event happens. Toya decides to put a little test out for the women, and Doctor. Oh, I forgot her name. I almost called her Doctor Audra. That ain't Audra. What is that
Tanika.
doctor's?
Oh, Alicia, Dr.
Alicia.
Alicia.
Dr. Alicia shows up late, and Toya plays a little game. She has one set that is the actual wine that she's distributing, and then we have the other wine that's just a random box wine. So she asked the ladies which wine do they think it is, and all of the ladies, with the exception of Simone, Simone chooses the box wine and wins the contest to determine that it was a box wine. So I say, yeah, that was cute. That was fun. It was a cute little event. Moving on.
But that's all that happened.
Yeah, that's all that happened. That's all. Phaedra and Dr. G meet up for dinner. And I thought this scene was comical because I can't get it out of my mind that they used to date. But yeah, they used to date. Well,
I think they're just friends.
Phaedra said they never dated. They went out to dinner a lot when because he was her one of she was one of his first friends when he moved to Atlanta. So they have a history. So I said, mm. I don't know. I don't know if I believe Phaedra. I think they dated. This is
Um,
alleged.
I don't.
I could see it.
I could see them dating,
I don't think
but
it was serious.
I don't think it was like we're like
No.
okay, we went on multiple dates. I feel like they probably went on like maybe a date and then ended up being friends or something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she gives her impression of Sweet Tea. She says, very sweet girl, very like her. And then she asks him, do you have a prenup? And he said, no. And she recommends that he gets one. And, you know, that was pretty much the whole episode. Because we know in real time they don't have a prenup,
What?
which
Get the. Ooh.
Dr. Heavenly put that out. I had to send you that video of her and Carlos King. She put out they do not
Yes.
have a prenup. They don't
You
have one.
know, I apologize too to those who are watching and like, why is she recapping this show? This is part of the reason I was like, James, you go ahead and recap it because with the song reviews, I have song reviews happening twice a week and music reactions also happening. So a lot of my time goes into keeping up with music news. So I be seeing the Bravo. Holy shit, Dr. G. I think every young man from Hugh Hefner, the dog that he was, to Michael Jackson, to Teddy Pendergrass. I think every man who loved women, who's dated somebody younger, would say, you cannot be out here with money and prevalence, getting with bitches that you met on Instagram and not thinking that you have a prenup. Like, do we need to go back to Housewives of Salt Lake City? Meredith, Seth, can you guys please go help this man? Maybe he needs to hear from white people because why don't you have a prenup? I just cannot see myself getting. I think if
And
you make more
especially,
than 80K a year, you need to have a prenup. Even if you think, well, I
you don't
don't
even
have
need to have
money.
money. Y'all thought saying they get prenup about prenup. You do not need to have money.
That's true.
Prenup does not necessarily mean it means protecting
Mhm.
your assets and inability of life. And what that means is you're not obligated to pay for certain things. Like when you get married and you divorce, you're not obligated to pay the student loan debt because in your prenup, you said, I am not responsible for any financial debt
Yeah.
that you have before we got married.
Especially in the southern states.
Yes.
Like,
Or if your family has substantial property,
mhm.
you need to protect that as well. See, a lot of people, because if you're the sole beneficiary or you inherit it even as equal partnership, your spouse could be entitled to that. So you have to protect a lot of things. I would sign one just because I'm probably not with somebody from not like that. Like if you want to shower me with gifts, if you I'll be fine accepting and I will reciprocate that same thing. But I'm not usually with somebody for money. Now stability of lifestyle, that may be different. If we
Yeah,
was married 20 years, I'm not gonna go live in no trailer park while you living in this 10 bedroom house and we
listen, preach,
look, yeah,
preach,
we're not gonna do that. I need
preach.
to maintain. I didn't got used to some shit after 20 years. You got to maintain it. So
Absolutely,
sorry. So yeah,
absolutely,
but that was
absolutely.
it, you guys. I was married to medicine. It was a really good episode. I will say it was a really good episode. I cannot wait for to see this bachelorette party because when Quad walked through that door just a smiling, I said, "Oh yeah, this shit finna get good." So is Married to Medicine killing it, y'all? It's still one of my favorite Bravo franchise shows. It will always be just because I love the educational factor that everyone
It's
plays into this.
different. It's
Hmm.
really different. And I wish that they would keep the same energy with the housewives as they do with Married to Medicine. When people are actually married to the person in that elite community, which is what housewives is supposed to be, I think it makes for less of a headache for me to watch. But I think you did great on this recap.
Thank you. Well, that was it, you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and make sure that you are sharing the video. Get all your friends to come over, help me get my subscriber count up. Y'all, I am trying. This shit is hard. So I am
It is
trying, but
hard.
yes, it's hard. But we're gonna go over to Mrs. Best channel. We're gonna review Basketball Wives LA and Orlando, the hot messes those shows were this week. So we thank you guys so much. We will see you tomorrow. Make sure you guys are back starting at 6:30. We're gonna start on Mrs. Best channel for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And bring your asses over to my channel because we have House of Villains, we have Real Housewives of Potomac, and Bell Collective tomorrow night. You don't want to miss it. And until the next review, you guys, I will see you soon. Bye bye.